In the mid-20th century, a landmark case shook the American education system to its core. This was none other than Brown v. Board of Education, a case that forever changed the face of education in the United States. In the heart of Topeka, Kansas, in the early 1950s, a young African-American girl named Linda Brown had to walk a significant distance to school each day. Despite there being a school just a few blocks from her home, it was a whites-only institution. Her father, Oliver Brown, took a stand against this, and with the assistance of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, he filed a lawsuit against the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas. This was not an isolated incident. Similar cases were happening across the country, in Delaware, South Carolina, Virginia, and the District of Columbia. The Supreme Court consolidated all these cases under one name, Brown v. Board of Education. When the case reached the Supreme Court, it sparked a heated debate. The justices were split, wrestling with the doctrine of separate but equal, established by the Plessy v. Ferguson case in 1896. However, after much deliberation, the court arrived at a unanimous decision. In a momentous verdict delivered on May 17, 1954, Chief Justice Earl Warren announced that separate educational facilities are inherently unequal. This decision marked the end of legal segregation in American schools. It was a milestone in the civil rights movement, but its impact extended far beyond racial segregation. It paved the way for the desegregation of students with disabilities. For many years, students with disabilities were also segregated into separate schools or classrooms. They were often denied the same educational opportunities as their non-disabled peers, much like African American students before the Brown ruling. But the Brown decision challenged this status quo. The ruling stated that separate was inherently unequal, and this principle was applied to students with disabilities as well. It laid the groundwork for future legislation, such as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which guarantees students with disabilities the right to a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. In essence, the Brown v. Board of Education case not only put an end to racial segregation in schools, but also set a precedent for ending the segregation of students with disabilities. To summarize, the Brown v. Board of Education case was a pivotal moment in American history. It led to the end of legal segregation in schools, marking a significant step forward in the civil rights movement. Moreover, its impact extended to students with disabilities, challenging their segregation and paving the way for legislations that guarantee them equal educational opportunities. Today, the legacy of this landmark case continues to shape the American education system, reinforcing the belief that every child, regardless of their race or disability, has a right to an equitable education.